Hello everyone and welcome to another marvelous learning experience with Saoirse Who is Marvelous. Today we're going to be talking about proportions, which is lesson 3.3, page 112 in your books. I hope that I'll be able to help you do what you need to do in math, so let's get started. Today's key ideas on page 112 are proportion and proportional. A proportion is an equivalent stating that two ratios are equivalent, and proportional is when two quantities form a proportion. Okay, so an example of a proportion is 2 over 3 is equal to 4 over 6. Okay, and they are proportional because if you multiply 2 by 2 and 3 by 2, you'll get 4 over 6. So basically the same thing. So let's think of another example that would be proportional. So that would be two things that are equal. So that could be like 5 over 10 times 2 would equal 10 over 20. They're the same. Same as 1/2 because 5 over 10 is 1/2, 10 over 20 is 1/2. So those are all proportional because they are two quantities and they form a proportion. Okay, so example 1. Determine whether ratios form a proportion. Tell whether these ratios, 4 over 10 and 10/25. So we want to compare the ratios in their simplest form. So let's get them down to as far as they can go, okay? So automatically I look at 4 over 10 and I want to divide by 2 just because 2 is a factor of 4 and 10. So 4 divided by 2 is 2 and 10 divided by 2 is 5, okay? So can anything else be done to 2 over 5? No, 2 over 5 is in simplest form. Okay, we learned about that in the previous video. Okay, let's do 10 over 25. When I see 10 over 25, I think 5, just because the 25, and I know that 5 can go into that. So 10 divided by 5 is 2, and 25 divided by 5 is 5. Whoa, okay. Do you see what I see? Pretty sure you do, okay? 2 over 5 and 2 over 5, they're the same number. So that means that these ratios are equivalent. So 4 over 10 and 10 over 25 form a proportion. Okay, why don't you all look at this one and see if you can do anything with it. And when you're ready to check, pause the video. Okay, so 12 over 9 and 15 over 12. So when I look at 12 over 9, I see an improper fraction. So I know that this probably isn't going to form a proportion. But you never know. It may. So we need to check. Okay? So 12 over 9, I think 3. Because 3 can go into 9 and 12. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay? And let's do 15 and 12. I think 3 again. And I'm sure there are other numbers that could work. Maybe. I'm not sure. But I just think 3 would be the best. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, so let's look at these. Are they the same? Nope, they do not form a proportion. So, okay, take a look at this one and see if you can get the answer. When you're ready to check, pause the video. Alright, 6 over 4. I think 2, because 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then 8 over 12, I think 4. Because 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times 3 is 12. So 8 over 12 divided by 4 is 2 over 3. Okay, they look alike because they have the same numbers, but they are not the same because 3 over 2 and 2 over 3, one's an improper fraction, one is not. So these are not proportional either. Okay, let's try this one. Get your answer, and when you're ready to check, go ahead and unpause the video. Okay, 10 over 18, I think 2. Okay, so this will be 5, and this will be 9. I can't do anything else with that one. Okay, 45 and 81, I think 9. So 5 and 9. Are they the same? Yes, so these are proportional. Yay! Okay, on page 113, we have another key idea, which is cross products. In the proportion AB is equal to CD, the products A times D and B and C are called cross products. Okay, so these ones, A and C and C and B, sorry, not A and C, A and D and B and C are cross products. And notice how it has a X, kind of like a cross. Okay, so these ones, and these ones. So that means that you can multiply them together to see if they're proportional. So if we do it over here, down during the numbers, we have 2 times 6, which is 12, and then 4 times 3, which is 12. So we know that this is proportional. That's right. And then over here on algebra, A times D, B times C. Okay? You swim your first 4 laps in 2.4 minutes. You complete 16 laps in 12 minutes. Wow, it's definitely not me swimming. Is the number of laps proportional to your time? Okay, well there are 2 ways that you can do this. You can do it by comparing unit rates, or you can do it by cross product property. So I'm going to show you both ways, and then I'm going to tell you which one I use the most. Okay, so for comparing unit rates, we learned that unit rates is the number brought down to where the 1 is its denominator. So that means that we have to get both laps at their smallest point, so kind of like their simplest form. Okay, so if we had 2.4 over 4 laps, okay, and then we have 12 minutes over 16, okay, so the only way that we can get them down to their simplest form is to divide by the denominator, because that would get it to 1. So this would now become 1 on this side if we're dividing by 4. And then 2.4 divided by 4 is 0.6. Okay? Then down here, we would have to divide by 16. That means 12 divided by 16 is 0.75. Okay? So they are brought down to their simplest form, or their unit rates. And if we look at them, they're not the same. 0.6 and 0.75 are not. So they are not proportional. Okay, so the number of laps to time is not proportional. Okay, and the other way that you can do it is cross product property. Okay, what you do is you put 2.4 over 4 equals 12 over 16. Okay, what you do is you do the cross multiplication to see. So 12 times 4 is 48. Okay, and then 16 times 2.4 is 38.4, and those are not equal, so you put the not equal sign, so they're not proportional. I think the easiest way is probably the cross product property, because you just multiply and you get the answer right away. But if comparing unit rates is easier for you, then you go ahead and do that. I usually use cross product property, but you do what you need to do to get the right answer, okay? Go ahead and look at this one and get the answer, and then when you're ready to check, pause the video. Okay, so Uncle Joe ran his first 3 laps around the gym in 1.5 minutes. He completes 24 laps in 12 minutes. Is the number of laps proportional to his time? Okay, so I'm going to use the cross multiplication just because it's, cross products, really, because it's a lot easier. And but if you need me to do the unit rate, I'll be doing it in the second one, okay? So if we have 3 over 1.5 over 3 times 12 over 24. So this would be 36 equals whatever 24 times 1.5 is. This would be 20, 10 over 12, 4, 2, 0, 6, 3, 1, 36. Okay, 36 is equal to 36, so these are proportional. Okay, and so let me do the unit rate really quick for anyone who did the unit rate. 1.5 to 3 would be 3, and then 1.5 divided by 3 is 0.5. Okay, and then 12 over 24. Oh, this is 1, by the way. Sorry, not 3. And then 12 divided by 24 is 0.5. So, or 0.5. So, those both ways, these are proportional. But they are proportional. His lapse is proportional to his time. So, alright, great job everyone. I hope that this video was helpful in having you do what you need to do in math. This has been another marvelous learning experience with Saoirse, who is marvelous. Telling you so long, farewell. You know, that's from Sound of Music. It's a really cool song. You should listen to it. I hope you guys know what Sound of Music is. But if you don't, look it up. It's really cool. Have a great day.